trouble, but I tell you right now, y'all long live cowboys.
Thank you for tuning into Tech N Shoes TV. If you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I made this video after hearing the news concerning Deion Sanders' sons, Shedeur Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. Shiloh was not invited to the NFL Combine at all, and Shedeur has what seems like a smear campaign out against him for coming off as arrogant at the NFL Combine. Rumors are spreading that Shedeur did not want to throw the ball at the Combine but instead only took meetings and interviews. During the interviews, one anonymous NFL coach claimed that he seemed overly arrogant. Many are believing that the arrogance may be from his dad being Deion Sanders and from the fact that he is already well off from the NIL. However, both Shedeur and Shiloh have studied under professional NFL players since they were young and have worked extremely hard to get where they are. Some coaches and NFL professionals hate that Deion Sanders has mentored Shedeur and made way for him in a sense of nepotism. However, it is very common for families to get family members jobs in their company, even in regular jobs with regular people. Related examples are the Mara family, who founded the New York Giants and had 2 sons in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and the Buck family, who are known for their success in sportscasting. It continues with Gary Kubiak, a longtime colleague of Mike Shanahan, giving Kyle Shanahan his first job as an NFL position coach in 2006. It ends with Kyle Shanahan giving Kubiak's son, Clay, his first NFL coaching job in 2021. Even in politics, the Bush family is one of 4 families that produced 2 presidents of the United States by the same surname. The others were the Adams, Roosevelt, and Harrison families. So many famous and non-famous families slide their relatives into a better position if they can. In Shedeur's case, he actually had to work since he was a child to get to this position, but it wasn't given. The problem is that for many reasons, Deion Sanders has a few enemies, and that issue that they have with him has spilled over into his sons' careers. Not inviting Shiloh to the NFL Combine was blatantly disrespectful. Though Shedeur was invited, anything that he would have said or not said, done or not done, would have been used against him. Ironically, this smear campaign is right before the 2025 NFL Draft. So clearly, someone is trying to sabotage Deion Sanders through his sons. Here's what others had to say on the topic.
Asking whether Deion Sanders and Colorado are close to the playoffs simply doesn't understand the reality of the road. They're not going to the playoffs this year, and I'm not sure Deion Sanders is ever going to get them to the playoffs because I don't think he has the patience to stay at Colorado long enough. There's so many misconceptions out there. Deion Sanders is the best salesman I've ever seen. I personally love the guy and for what he stands for, but the program looking out has a ridiculously inflated view of itself. I heard Shedeur Sanders, who's a fabulous quarterback, say last week, "We are everyone's Super Bowl." Shedeur, you are not. You are an easy win nowadays. You got off to a phenomenal start last year, beating a couple of mediocre teams that had big names. And quite frankly, you haven't done anything since other than crash and burn. So I know that the media loves this story. We fall all over ourselves. But Colorado isn't important in college football. Deion Sanders is. He's a
So I've heard, some people feel like he's arrogant. He's a little too confident. However, most of the feedback I've heard about Shedeur has been positive. And there's one quote from an NFL exec that really stood out to me. He told me, "I can see how someone would think Shedeur is arrogant if he or she doesn't take the time to get to know him. He is a thoughtful young man. He's not a BSer. He's not somebody that's going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you what he thinks, but he's going to think about his answer before he speaks to you." Now, what bothers me about the Shedeur conversation right now is that people seem, now that brash and arrogant are out there and have been assigned to him, now it's like, oh, you see, this guy can't lead a football team. My question, same guy who as a young player was concerned, talking about aliens and all these things and had this very unique personality, it didn't matter because he could play football, right? Being a nice kid, being quiet, that doesn't equate to winning games. The only thing I want to hear about Shedeur from league people is, do you think he can turn around your franchise? Do you think he's the best quarterback? And if you don't, that's fine. But when we attach these labels, especially to black quarterbacks, then I got to do a little bit more digging. I got to ask, what is really behind it? He's Deion Sanders' son. You thought this kid was going to come in here and say, yeah, I think I could do it. No, he's going to tell you, I've done it, and I think I could do it. And I like that confidence.
I'm trying to remain composed and not really be as angry as I want. But I'm fuming inside right now. What is he supposed to be?
Insecure.
As a quarterback entering the NFL. You can't be insecure and succeed as a quarterback in the NFL. You can't have doubts about your abilities and be successful as a quarterback in the NFL. If I know that, every single executive, even Mr. Shine, whatever his name is, you understand, himself knows you have to have confidence, okay? He has a resume that validates and backs up his confidence. And so I'm getting angry because young black man, highly successful, highly accomplished, an incomparable, impeccable pedigree, is entering the NFL, is considered easily one of the top 2 quarterbacks entering the NFL draft. We hear about his lack of mobility, lack of arm strength, whether or not he can make the requisite throws. Oh, no, we're hearing about his attitude. Ever been in trouble? Ever found himself in any kind of trouble? Is there anything that has besmirched or stained his resume, his name in any way? The closest thing this brother has come to a crime is when Colorado State was talking smack to them and he refused to shake the quarterback's hand and said, I heard what you said. I heard what you said. Or when the coach was talking about prime time as daddy and he went at midfield, he was like this with the watch and all. That's about it. He's done nothing wrong. So why are we having this conversation about his character? I'm going to tell you why. Because you got people hating on his daddy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And they want any excuse that they can come up with. And let me remind America why Deion Sanders, we going to say this. This is why Deion Sanders is hated by some people. Because he was the greatest. And he told you so. And then went out there and showed you show. And you were helpless to do anything about it. And then when he talked about it, not only could you not play better than him, you couldn't talk better than him, you couldn't articulate your thoughts better than him, you didn't have that swag, that flavor about you, that vibe about you, you couldn't resonate with it.
A quarterback coach from a team drafted in the top 7 referred to Shedeur Sanders as brash and arrogant in his team interview. Josina Anderson posted a very lengthy, interesting post. I'm not going to read it all, but you guys can see it. Here we go with this again, Ocho.
That's what you want from your quarterback, huh? No, listen, don't change. You know who else is brash? Can I tell you one quarterback who is brash, especially coming out of college, with the way he plays, the way he carried himself? By the name of Baker Mayfield. He went number 1, too. Cam. Baker Mayfield was trash. You know,
Cam.
Huh? Cam, brash. Huh? You know who else is brash? Johnny Manziel was brash. You know? Now all of a sudden, there's a problem with having confidence in yourself. He's not brash. It's about having confidence. It's believing in yourself and believing in the work that you've already put in. The resume speaks for itself. Turn on the film. There's a reason he's talking the way he's talking. I believe I can come in and change the franchise. How is that brash for feeling that way? If you're not serious about changing your franchise or having a franchise-changing quarterback, I'm not the one for you. What's wrong with saying that when that's exactly what the teams are looking for? Someone with that type of confidence. Not soft-spoken, you are a leader of men coming in as a rookie to change the franchise. You have to be. What are we
Can
really
I ask you, okay,
about?
let's just say for the sake of argument, Ocho, everything that he said, everything that this coach said, that he's brash and he's arrogant. Can he play? That's all that.
Yeah.
Can he play football? He's a football player. He's not into politics because in politics you need to be likable. That's why people will vote for you. In this situation, can he play football? Okay, does he have any issues off the field? Do you worry about having to have your phone on ring the entire night? Are you worried about, hey, if you see my player here, give me a call. Watch out for him. Is there any such thing that you need to worry about?
Mm-hmm.
His dad was brash. I'm confused. At the end of the day, can the guy play football? Can the guy, if you want a politician, if you want a Cub Scout, someone that's going to be in the church, okay, fine, I get that. I want a football player. I want him to have good character. I don't care about the brashness. I don't care about all that stuff. I don't want him to get in trouble off the field, although I understand that young kids will make mistakes because I was young. So I'm not here to condemn for a first-time mistake. I just don't want to see a repeat offender. That's what I get upset about, repeat offenders. But I don't have no problem with Shedeur. I don't have no problem with any guy. If that's what we're talking about, that's what we're about here. Now, you have to understand.
Trouble, but I tell you right now, y'all don't live.